the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Ours is not a system of justice where foot soldiers go to jail and the masterminds and ringleaders get a free pass.
Tonight on DC News Now at 5, the January 6th committee held their final hearing today. We'll have a closer look at the reason they're now recommending criminal charges for former President Donald Trump. Plus, a judge rules that a man accused of killing a pregnant woman and a gas station clerk in Montgomery County is not competent to stand trial. We'll have a live report from the courthouse. And stretching your dollar with cold weather hitting the DMV, many are preparing for increasing costs in their heating bills. How you can save some money and stay warm this winter. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Annalisa Gale filling in for Mark Hall. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb now. Janessa, things are calm now, but later in the week, closer to Christmas Eve, things could look a little different.
Yeah, we are tracking a big time storm system that really hasn't gained its shape just yet out towards the central U.S. into the Pacific Northwest. And right now, our models are saying predominantly rain. And so that is beneficial news to people traveling for the holiday. And if you were looking for that big winter event, right now our models are saying that does not materialize. So hopefully you think that's good news. If not, you have plenty of chances of more storms headed our way. So right now out towards Hagerstown, you can see the high clouds continuing to be in place. And so we'll continue to watch that for tonight. For actually the next 3 days, we're going to watch a very quiet pattern take shape across the DMV with drier air working its way in from the south. And then on Thursday morning, that's when we'll start to deal with kind of this wintry mix. It transitions into rain. And then the backside is going to allow some of the coldest temperatures as we transition into the first day of winter this week. So temperatures right now across the board, highs today actually starting to warm up, 42 degrees for the metro area out towards Manassas in the lower 40s, and the higher terrain, upper 30s, mid 30s out towards Kaiser into the Allegheny Mountains. And so we'll continue to watch kind of the warmer air pump in from the south, and still very blustery weather out towards southern Maryland. Right now about 5 to 20 miles per hour, and that's going to really cool us off. Feel like temperatures tonight in many locations going to hover in the 20s. So your evening plans tonight, yes, layer up. But if you think this is cold, we are about to transition into wind chills near the single digits in some areas of the DMV to the teens as we step into your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Janessa. Well, new tonight, a 16-year-old has been charged after an incident that we told you about on Sunday at Tyson's Corner Center. This is a picture of the gun that was recovered by police. They were searching for 3 suspects after a robbery in Arlington, and there was a heavy police presence after reports of people running there. Police say there were no shots fired and no one was hurt. That teen is facing several charges. Police also say they do not plan to increase security as the holiday weekend is quickly approaching. Also new developing, former President Donald Trump has been referred to the Justice Department on at least 4 criminal charges. This afternoon, the House committee made that decision in its final public meeting. Raquel Martin is on the Hill with the very latest.
The committee says they have enough evidence to recommend at least 4 criminal charges against the former president, among them aiding an insurrection and conspiracy against the United States.
We have gone where the facts and the law lead us, and inescapably, they lead us here.
After a nearly year-and-a-half-long investigation,
The ayes have it.
Monday, the House January 6th committee is referring former President Donald Trump to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution.
President Trump intended to disrupt the peaceful transition of power under our Constitution.
Their vote followed an extended video presentation recounting the day of the attack and testimony from close Trump aides. Committee members say the DOJ should consider 4 charges against Trump: attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to make a false statement, and aiding an insurrection.
President Trump lit the flame and sat by in the White House dining room for
hours watching the fire burn.
In newly released testimony, former aide Hope Hicks said the president ignored warnings his efforts to overturn the election results would damage his legacy. His response?
Nobody will care about my legacy if I lose. The only thing that matters is winning.
Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney, one of the two Republicans on the committee, says it's clear President Trump violated his oath of office.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again.
Committee members say they could recommend more criminal charges against the former president and his allies. They are also referring at least 4 Republican congressmen to the House Ethics Committee after they refused to testify. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you. Following 2 deadly shootings this weekend in the Adams Morgan neighborhood, city leaders are taking action now. In a tweet this afternoon, Councilwoman Brianne Nadeau says 2 people were killed in 2 separate shootings on Saturday near 18th Street. Nadeau saying she has been in touch with D.C. police as they investigate those shootings. Her office is working with the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement to figure out more ways to reduce crime in that area. And she says the Office of Nightlife has indicated that they will offer active threat preparedness training to businesses that are interested. She's holding office hours tonight from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Or Marielle Carbone will have more tonight on DC News Now at 9 and 10. Well, new details tonight. Body camera video has been released in November's deadly police-involved shooting in Frederick, Maryland. We do want to warn you that this video could be disturbing.
Drop it, man! Drop it!
Those were the seconds leading up to deputies with the Frederick County Sheriff's Office shooting and killing 23-year-old Aaron Mensah. In that video, you hear the officers telling him to drop a knife. One officer used a less lethal beanbag shotgun. Police say Mensah stabbed his mother and killed his father.
I got taser. Drop it!
And in this second video, Mensah is seen running towards police with what they say was a knife. He died on the scene. The state's Independent Investigations Division says deputies from the sheriff's office do not have body cameras. They say they generally release body-worn camera and dashboard camera footage within 14 days. However, they delayed sharing this video. Investigators were conducting witness interviews. The investigation there continues. Well, the man charged with killing a convenience store clerk in Montgomery County was deemed not competent to stand trial. He will soon face charges for killing a woman and her unborn child. Prosecutors tell us it is now a matter of when Tory Damian Moore will be formally served for the 2 additional deaths. DC News Now's Leonard N. Fleming is live outside the courthouse for us right now. Leonard, what are you hearing?
That's exactly right. There was some sort of a problem where Tory Damian Moore was not properly served while in jail with arrest warrant papers. Prosecutors say that will happen soon as he is evaluated by medical professionals regarding his competency in the case regarding the other murder.
There is a second warrant still outstanding for Mr. Moore, where he is charged with the murder of the woman whose body was found in his apartment and with the death of the child that she was carrying at the time.
Montgomery County State's Attorney John McCarthy held a media briefing about forthcoming charges coming against Tory Damian Moore. Denise Middleton's badly decomposed body was found in his Silver Springs apartment earlier this month when he was arrested for allegedly murdering a store clerk.
That warrant has been authorized by the commissioner in Montgomery County. It just has not been served yet.
Moore was caught on video December 8th at the Dash Inn store, allegedly shooting Ayalu Wandimu. He was shot multiple times after a verbal confrontation. Police on December 9th arrested Moore at his apartment where Middleton's body was found. She was also at full term. Prosecutors say there was a relationship between the two.
Quite candidly, I can't offer an explanation for why we've had this much delay. It is surprising to me.
The judge rejected Moore's plea to be released and ordered him held without bond. He will be reviewed by the County Department of Health to measure his competency.
For the purposes of the community safety, it's important to note that he is not freeing the community. He is being held without bond because of the dangerousness, even though it's still pending as an evaluation for competency.
Another bond hearing could be held as early as tomorrow on additional charges. Meanwhile, the judge set a January 6th preliminary hearing date and a June 13th hearing on competency, but that all could be wiped away if these additional charges are brought by prosecutors. Reporting from Rockfield, Leonard and Fleming, DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Leonard, and we'll continue to follow this story on air and online with the very latest newest details at 6 o'clock in our latest newscast there. D.C. Council right now, Chairman Phil Mendelson holding a legislative briefing ahead of the council emergency legislation meeting tomorrow. Several bills are on the agenda, including Metro for D.C., the Medical Cannabis Amendment Act, Wastewater Systems Regulation Act, and the Ghost Gun Clarification Act. The council is expected to vote or pass resolution on those bills.
This should be very good for district residents and also for residents who have to work late at night and rely on or have the need for public transportation.
The D.C. Council legislative meeting will begin tomorrow afternoon. They're also set to consider legislation to create a temporary reform board for the D.C. Housing Authority, which we've been tracking. Right now, President Joe Biden continues to condemn anti-Semitism. He's expected to speak tonight at a Hanukkah celebration at the White House. Biden is expected to tell guests tonight they should not be silent and that hate, violence, and anti-Semitism is not welcomed. It comes as the country is experiencing a series of anti-Semitic incidents nationwide, including right here in our backyard. Anti-Semitic graffiti was found at Montgomery County's Walt Whitman High School. According to the Anti-Defamation League, they have tracked over 2,000 hate crimes just in the last year.
If Puerto Ricans want Puerto Rican statehood, then we would definitely support Puerto Rican statehood. You know, I might, argue with them that they should be a state like us, and we should come in together, and it doesn't really matter if, who's 51, if there's a 52.
This afternoon, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says it does not matter which state becomes the 51st in the country as long as it happens for D.C. Last week, the House voted to allow Puerto Ricans to decide the political future of the territory, paving the way for Puerto Rico to become the nation's 51st state. In April 2021, the House passed a bill that would make D.C. a state, but the bill faces an uphill battle in the Senate. New tonight, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have settled their defamation lawsuits. The lawsuits, which took place in Fairfax County, Virginia, were filed in a trial earlier this year. The former couple accused each other of physical and verbal abuse. Heard will pay Depp $1 million in that settlement, which Depp says he will donate to charity. In June, a Virginia jury awarded Depp $10 million. Heard was awarded nearly $2 million.